people like that comment and say, oh, social media influencers and drivers, these are the problem. Yeah, because you sit on your fat ass and do nothing about it. You don't open your mouth. You don't talk about the issues out here. You don't talk about the problems. You just sit there and go home to your little wife and whinge to her. Hey, Betty. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nothing gets done that way, mate. So get off your seat and have a say. G'day, truckies, truckettes, and people that like trucks. Just parked up at, and actually, you know what? I want to ask you this question. You all know where I am. Now, answer this in the comments. Seems to be a little bit of a debate. Is it gonna windy, gunda windy, gonna windy, or gunda windy? Different people call it different things, but I want to know what it is. But listen, last week I put up a post on my Facebook, right? On my Facebook page, Aaron the Typical Trucker. So what I wrote on there was this, right? If you all remember that post. As the countdown begins and I get ready to hit the highway again with all you... I need to learn how to read. With all my trucking brothers and sisters, I want to hear from you. In your opinion, what's the biggest issue facing the transport industry right now? What's the one thing that worries you the most or even makes you rethink your career on the road? Drop your thoughts below. Let's start the conversation and make our voices heard. Now, all right, so it's been seen by, 71,000 people? 184 comments. Now, first comment that I've seen, Trashy Trucker Media. Now, these are the American truckers. This guy's from America, so he's got that page. So, Trashy Trucker Media. If you're not already following him, go onto Facebook and follow him. Improper or a lack of quality training for the trainees. I've spoken to these people before, and they seem to have the same issue over there in the US. We all seen that truck crash in Florida, where the driver did an illegal U-turn in Florida, ended up wiping out a little SUV with 3 people who all died. Now, Daniel, biggest issue, logbooks and lack of training on new drivers. Worries, the small bloke / company going under. Hope the wife is on the mend, mate. Okay, I could have left that out. Thank you, sir. I'm a truckie's wife. I mean, look, I've gone all through them, and one of the biggest things is safety and lack of training for drivers. Now, listen, look, in the past, I've tried to stay away from it and not bring up the, it's not a good term, but people say import drivers. Now, they're the drivers with visas that have come over to work. Now, we can't deny that Australia has a shortage of drivers. We need drivers. But what seems to be the worrying thing is the training. As long as you've got your license, we'll put you in a truck and let you go. Now, I'm all for people coming over to this country to work, to have a better life and to drive and to support their family. I'm all for it. I say do it. But you must be trained, and it's not just about how to drive a truck. You have to learn how truck drivers on Australian roads work, how we communicate together, how the truckie etiquette happens. So, for instance, if you're driving and a truck wants to cross over the other side of the road to overtake you, the person in the left lane, you can signal them in or get on the radio, let them know, bring it out, brother or sister. Let them go past. When they're out on the right, back it off. You don't have to jump on the brake. Just let the exhaust brakes hit and slow you down a little bit. Get them past as fast as you can and get them over. Flash them in or get on the radio. Tell them to come in. Right? So stuff like that. And just go into a truck stop. You know, when you pull up for the night, think. Other truckies are going to come in here. They're going to park up for the night. So, you know what? I'm going to do it where all other trucks can come in and get out and be safe, you know? So you've got to think about other drivers. But it's the training. The training needs to be done properly. And as bad as it is to say, and a lot of people probably don't like it, I think the training needs to be more vigorous. Look, it comes up to the company how they train drivers, I guess. But there must be some type of national standard of training. There has to be. But as I'm going through, you know, Tim Branch, lack of rest areas in some states for truck drivers to pull over safely, whether loaded or not. And that is another thing that I will say, truck rest areas. But it's not that, I mean, look, coming up the Newell Highway, up the New England, all these type of stuff, there's rest areas everywhere. But I think it's the quality of it too. You know, I put up at a rest area earlier, which I'll put on another video. Bloody shotgun hole through the front door of it. Shotgun. What if you're sitting there doing a bloody turd and someone shoots a shotgun at you? Oh, you know, you get to heaven, how'd you die? Oh, I was dropping one out, then someone dropped one into me. But, yeah. But, as I'm going through, undertrained drivers, that's from Jacob Borelli. Dick Peters. Sorry, mate. Dick Peters. No one mentions the bright white headlights. Heaps of people getting around with extremely bright lights. I find these lights extremely dangerous due to causing temporary blindness in some occasions. Then your eyes need to refocus. That's when it becomes dangerous. Also, white lights reflecting off the road signs makes you tired. I can't be the only one this happens to. Now, Mr. Peters, I will say I get flashed quite regularly. People telling me to turn my high beams down, but they're not high beams, they are my lights. And they are the stock standard lights that come with the truck, brand new. So they've passed all safety specs or, you know, all Australian standards. So that is what's allowed. But I do get it because I do see trucks coming onto me and I, like from up a distance, and I look at them going, is his high beams on or aren't they? Usually most trucks have big floodlights and spotties and stuff, or light bars, so you can usually tell if the high beams are really on. But you are right, they do get very bright. But I think out on the road we need them, especially some of the places we go. It's a pain in the ass, but I think it's something that can't be changed really. Trent, the issues with the industry at the moment is how easy it is to come to Australia as an international driver and just start driving with little to no experience on our roads or experience in general Australia road rules. It's definitely the biggest issue. That I agree with. I agree with that. Now, like I said, a lot of international drivers come over here to work, to drive. A lot of them are unsafe drivers, but a lot of them are very good drivers too. A lot of them are also better drivers than us Aussie drivers. So it goes both ways. But if you're going to come to the country to drive and to work, like I said, come on over. But you must know the rules, the etiquette, and just plain old courtesy on the road. That's how we work together. It's how we get home at the end of the week. Joe's, my biggest concern is getting home safely to my family. These overseas drivers coming here are bloody dangerous. You spot the 15 buckles swinging in the breeze and you think, here we go again. Try to overtake them and they're swaying into your lane. They can't hold it straight. I've had countless B-double trailers nearly taken off my mirror. They're not taught any courtesy on the road, like backing off the pedal for a minute if you're trying to overtake them and you're doing 1 kilometre more. They're a disgrace to our industry and more on the roads than ever. Rant over, thanks buddy. Tell me what you think about that comment. The condition of some of these roads, unbelief. And I will say that I've got a bad back at the moment, just coming from Morita here to Gundawindi, this place, going to this place. The roads are horrendous. And I look in my side mirror when I go over some of these roads, and you watch the trailer just, you know, you can't see it coming either. Clint Cameron, getting a good place to have a shower and clean ones. I will say that the standards in Australia for truck stops and showers are not like they are in the US. I don't know if there's any bad ones in the US. Trucky Trash Media, comment on this and let me know. But in the US, I've seen some videos of some of their truck stops, and behold, like, you know, America is a bigger country population-wise, so they have a hell of a lot more trucks and a lot more truck industry there. But I've seen some really nice ones, millions of dollars spent on them over there. There's one where I think it was the biggest truck stop in America. I think it might be in Arizona. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comments. But it's so massive. You go in there, you have showers. They provide the towels. When you finish the towel, you hang it up, throw it in the wash or whatever. But I think we need to find a way of actually finding companies that want to invest and build truck stops. That'd be awesome. John Stewart, great work, mate. See you back out there. Hope Danny's doing well. Thank you, John. Bob King, all I can say, I'm glad I am retired now with the bullshit of today. It's not what it was when I started out back in the 70s. I don't know what it was like back in the 70s, but I have heard it was a bloody good time to be trucking. And I have heard from a lot of the old timers that things have changed. It is different now. Justin, Turbinators. Oh, sorry, I need to shave my head then. Anyway, oh God, man. Oh, Scotty Cookie. He's a mess of a kid, that one. Love you, Scotty. People using service centres as personal depots. Absolutely. Eastern Creek BP and a few other BPs have started to get their act together and tow trailers and all that. I mean, I've heard about this new truck stop that's getting built in Sydney. So can't wait to use that in 10 years. Amy Mack, over-regulation. Spoken about that before, over-regulation. I'd love to know more about the over-regulation. Put your comments in there about the over-regulation too, because I didn't think it was over-regulated, but lately I am starting to see it, and I'm starting to understand. Mark Mann, load brokers. Every other problem we have is a result of this. Yeah, of course companies are going to hire cheap, untrained labour when a flatbed load from Toronto to California has dropped from over 12k US to under 6k Canadian. How are you going to bring in skilled labour for 50 cents a mile? Oh, so he's an American. So it seems like the Americans have a lot of issues that we have as well. I'd love to hear a lot more about the Americans and what's going on there. Matt Palmer, licence testing and 457 visas. Maxine, wow, how cute this is, from Perth, Australia. Oh, thank you. Pip, cameras facing me in the cab. Will not drive with those. I have heard about the facing cameras. We won't do them because when you have a camera facing you, you get more anxious knowing you're always being looked at. And that can cause issues. That can make things hard. So I believe that can be a hazard. Adam Gould. Now, I know this guy, and he's not driving anymore due to an accident he had, which was not his fault. Inexperienced foreign drivers. One near took my life, changed my life forever, and took what I once loved, truck driving, away from me. After I hit another truck at 90 kilometers an hour, after he broke down on a major road, he had 5 opportunities to pull off safety, but decided to take a risk and stopped, still in the middle of the lane. As I come around the corner, I had nowhere to go. I'm lucky to be alive today. The inexperienced driver from Pakistan just packed up and moved home with not a worry in the world. So it seems he wasn't held accountable. He took off and went home. And Adam, I love you, mate. And I miss seeing you out here on the road. Stu, company scheduling modelled by computers and enforced by people who've never driven a truck. Lack of highway etiquette from Australian and non-Australian drivers. Company first, family second. It must have been the truckers' fault or not stopping in time mentality of the news and car drivers. Truck stops and amenities. And I feel you there, brother. I feel you there. Alan. Hi Aaron, my problem is with Vic Roads and medical that we have to do to keep our license. For our careers, that they know more than our medical professionals and can take a career away from you with a letter from them. No human contact. So what he's saying is that it seems like Vic Roads believe that, you know, if he's medical from his personal doctor, you know, medical professionals have said, yep, he's fine to drive. But Vic Roads says, not too bad. Gracie Grace, lack of decent rest areas. You know what, I reckon 70% are saying international drivers. Travis Scott. Oh, hey, Travis. Big fan, mate. Love your music. I'm pretty sure it's a different Travis Scott. The biggest issue is the big wigs in suits don't listen to industry. I mean the actual industry. Not bureaucrats in a high-rise office, but the people on the ground, in the cabs and in the transport offices. We as drivers know the reasons why transport is in bad shape, but the suits don't listen and do nothing about it, like we are all second-class citizens. When in reality, and was shown during COVID, transport is one of the most vital parts of Australia. Absolutely, and I agree. Stop listening to those people and listen to the drivers that are out here. We are the ones experiencing it. We know we need to have a voice more, you know, and actually listen to us. Dennis, I wish American truckers were not so giving to the companies. We need a good old-fashioned strike. We don't even make the money to live. Here we go. Ross Williams, here we go. He's a know-it-all. All you social media truckers are a part of the problem. Well, Ross, maybe if you opened your mouth and actually spoke about the industry, things would get changed. Instead of, no, you just sit behind your computer or your little phone and you just write that stuff on there. Why don't you become a part of it and actually try and change the industry and help us all out? And it's always a person with his dog on his profile picture or picture of some, you know, oasis that he's never been to that he found on bloody Google. People like that give me the shits. And I'm getting to a point where I try to keep it calm and all this and that, but anyway, safety seems to be the main issue. It's all about the safety and the other drivers that are out there. And listen, you can't make a change unless you talk about it and you stand up and say, we want changes. We're not asking for much. We want safety. We want rules that actually help, you know, make the industry better. But anyway, I'll leave it at that and I'll do another one later on. But comment and tell me what your issues are, what your worries are. And I'll find out what's going on. Get this out there. Have a say. Thank you, g'day, and good night.